in the Strzelecki Ranges. This is in the Brataualung Forest Park, which was agreed to by the state government in 2006, another arrangement in 2008. It was land vested to Hancock Victorian Plantations, which the government bought back. Anyway, we were supposed to get an 8,000 hectare reserve, but it's stalled for the last couple of years because there's a stand of old pine trees growing on the edge of old Whitelaw's track. And these trees are pretty old and big, and it wasn't a good idea to have these in the reserve because you'll get wildings and whatever grow from these trees. So the handback of another 2,000 hectares of land has been stalled. There's a couple more in the background now, I'm just showing you. So the agreement's stalled for the last couple of years, and what's happened is that there's been a bit of a standoff between Hancock Victorian Plantations and the state government about who is responsible for removing these trees. So I've had a quick look around today, and I've noticed that there's a couple of pine trees here that are in their death throes, and I presume what's happened here is that they've poisoned the trees to see what poison would work, and then they'll come back and maybe take the trees out once the trees are dead. So at this spot you can see there's an X on this tree. I've only seen 2 trees that have been cut, that have been potentially poisoned. Here's another one here. So they're marked with red X's. And what I also noticed is they've got these, looks like chainsaw cuts into the tree where I think the poison's been injected somehow into the tree. I'm not sure what poison they would have used, a herbicide of some sort, but you can get up into the canopy there and you can see that this old pine is probably on the way out or dead already, and the next one next to it, similar story. So I'm not sure when this was done or by who. And then we'll just come through here a little bit more. So yeah, there could be possibly 50 to 100 trees that are going to have to come out before this land is handed back as part of the Brataualung Forest Park. We're on the edge of the Jack River catchment in South Middle Creek. So these are pine trees here that haven't been done. And yeah, there's probably 100 or so that have grown up. Probably an old farm that was established here years ago, and some lyrebird scratches up. I heard some lyrebirds today. Got a younger pine here. Here's a large old tree here. You can see the size of these trees. So I can't remember what the figure was. It was something like 30,000 tonnes of timber is going to have to come out of this site. Pine trees. So once these trees are removed, they're poisoned, they're removed, then the government can then hand back the tree. So the reserve. So what I presume has happened is they're trialling some herbicide to see if it kills the trees first. Then there'll have to be some sort of process where these trees are removed. So I'm just coming down onto old Whitelaw's track. So the portion of the reserve was logged about 10 years ago by Hancock, and Hancock didn't take out these pine trees, and part of the problem is that this land is there's a 20-metre road buffer, which I'm just coming down to now. So 20 metres from this road, it's the government's responsibility, but anything other than the 20 metres, it's Hancock's responsibility. So what should have happened, and didn't for some reason, oh Jesus, this is our Whitelaw's track. So yeah, you can see the pine trees left within 20 metres. That one down there, I reckon it's a Hancock responsibility, and there's younger ones in the background as well that would probably be Hancock responsibility. But this road is Old Whitelaw's track, and we're coming to this appropriately named Pine Road, or Pines Road. You get a pretty cool view down there, right on the looking sort of southwest. I think that's the Prom Way in the distance. It's not a great day for views today, but you can see down in there there's pine trees that have seeded probably 20 metres off the road. So yeah, anyway, this is one of the frustrating processes with getting this Brataualung Forest Park up, is you've got issues such as this that are definitely delaying the handback, and have delayed it for a couple of years. So you can see so we're walking off Old Whitelaw's track. We're walking down Pines Road. Pine needles everywhere. Now I think that this road, Pines Road, is actually Hancock Road. So legally, they would be the responsible for what happens here. This looks like a manna gum growing here. I'd say that's a manna gum, possibly koala trees. And the Pine Road, you've got this whole stand of them in here. So yeah, like I said, it's tens of thousands of tons of wood. So they're going to have to get contractors in to, well, poison them. Then they're going to have to look at a process of removing these trees, and this could be, it's a lot of work. And then hopefully they can use the timber for something, and we can get some sawmills or someone who wants to use the wood. Hopefully they'll sell the timber. You can see here there's pine wildings growing up here. Now technically they might be 20 metres from the Old Whitelaw's track, so technically they're within that 20 metre buffer, but this portion is Hancock land. So there has to be agreement between the two parties to who is responsible. So ideally this should have been done by Hancock when this area was logged in about 2014. And the reserve, Brataualung Park, is just starting to regenerate quite nicely, but we've got this issue of these pine wildings through the reserve. This is a better view of just off Pine Road. I won't go any more, but yeah, you can see the scale of these trees. They're quite large, old growth. And on this side you've got the area that was logged about 2014, about a decade ago, and it's now been replanted and it's going to be retired, but it's still in Hancock hands until this quandary of these pine trees is sorted out. So yeah, it's an interesting issue. The other thing they've got to do is they'll have to bring log trucks down on the road, so that could mean roading for about 1 kilometre. I walked in from the north side of Old Whitelaw's track today, and it was quite good. So I'd presume they'll remove the trees from and cart them towards Whitelaw's track, and then probably through Ballook, and yeah, and then I don't know what happens to the trees then, but yeah, look, there's probably 100 or so of these old pine trees here. So yeah, got to get rid of the trees, and then we can get the handover. But at this rate, I mean, I came here in August 2023, last year, 14 months, and then 14 months there's only been 2 trees poisoned. So it's a slow old process. And then the other issue we've got is, if the Labor government loses in the election, will the Liberal government uphold the agreement which was made with Hancock back in 2008 which Hancock were paid for. We think they were paid about $5 million to retire a lot of this land. So legally it's sound, but yeah, well, it's a quandary. We've got essentially the government and Hancock in an arm wrestle about who manages or takes out or who's responsible for these old pine trees. Thanks.